Well, there's a new warning from the Pentagon that ISIS fighters are now on the verge of capturing the key Iraqi city of Ramadi. Well, this blow comes not long after some had said ISIS was on the run in Iraq after the terrorists were beaten back into Crete. So what does this mean about the true state of ISIS in the region? Joining me now is retired Air Force Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, a Fox News military analyst. Is ISIS, General, weakening or strengthening?
Well, it appears to me that they are strengthening, Greg, and I think it's very obvious that we've got a long way to go. We are not using our air power effectively. Peter Ducey mentioned in the earlier part of the segment this morning that we flew 5 strikes. Look, that is piddling. We need to be up in 400 to 500 strikes a day there and use our power effectively. We are deliberately not doing it, and that's coming out of the White House. For some odd reason, the White House, the Pentagon's not running this. The White House is running this. And for some odd reason, the White House is not destroying ISIS, which we could do. I don't have the answer why, but I can tell you if I was the air component commander, I would be flying 500 strikes a day.
Well, do you suspect that it's amateur hour over at the White House?
Well, I think it is amateur hour. Look, Ramadi is the key to the Sunni unity there. And it's not just bricks and mortars, as General Dempsey said. It is the symbol of the Iraqi Sunni unity. And so you do not want to give that city up. Baji is an oil refinery. We can close that down by destroying the fracturing tower, and they'll not get any oil out of there. And any vehicle that comes out, we can destroy that. So we must defend Ramadi. Now, this is not General Dempsey's decision. This is the Iraqi Prime Minister, al-Abadi, who is really an Iranian stooge, unfortunately. He's as bad as Maliki. And so when we pulled out of there, Greg, we in fact made Iran and Iraq an Iranian proxy, and that's not good.
Would any of this have happened if President Obama had not pulled out American forces prematurely, which many people say, and without a status of forces agreement?
This would not have happened. Everybody will agree, including Vice President Biden, that when we left, everything was in good shape. The terrorism was down. We defeated al-Qaeda. We had the provinces stabilized. And then all of a sudden, we walk from success and gave ISIS and al-Qaeda victory there. So, but that's history. Now we've got to do the right things, and I believe we've got to help the Sunnis and the Kurds clearly in that region, and we've got to start telling Prime Minister al-Abadi if he wants our help and support, then he's got to start doing the right things. He has not done that.
Army morale, according to a new report, is at its low right now. Why is that?
Well, it's not only the Army, it's the Navy and the Air Force and the Marines. It is because we have unilaterally disarmed. We didn't say that. But in fact, the force structures are smaller than at any time since World War II. Our readiness, for instance, when I was a commander, my readiness of F-15s and F-16 squadrons was at the 85 to 90% level. Today, their readiness is at 50%, even less. So they're not flying. They're equipped. They've gotten smaller. We've drawn all this down. And now you see what's happening in the world. The Middle East has never, since the Crusades, it wasn't even as bad as it is today. Look at the Ukraine. Look at Eastern Europe, the problems we have there. Look at the South China Sea and what China is doing. And so our military people see this, Greg, and they say, look, we're not leaders anymore. We're leading from behind, and they're not used to that.
Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, as always, sir, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
See, I was looking at this and I was thinking about types and shadows that are in the Old Testament. And when we have, where we just look at this clip here, and they can't figure out why the White House won't do what needs to be done. There's some strange or odd reason, you know, and it kind of makes me think, because I was wondering where Hillary Clinton is now beginning to voice her her policies, and well, nobody really knows her policies yet, but she's going to run for president. And I was wondering if there was any type or shadow, like Paul said, you know, the Old Testament has spiritual lessons and types and shadows that we can see or apply to life today. So I was wondering if there was something in the Old Testament that would indicate that maybe we would have a woman president. So I looked in the Old Testament and I found Barak. Okay. Now, in Judges 4, we see that the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. Okay. And a lot of Christian people today think that the United States has done evil in the sight of the Lord, and that we're going down the wrong road, and that God would judge our country somehow, some way, one of these days. So, looking at this, you know, Israel's done, and just saying like that's applying to the United States. Israel's done evil in the sight of the Lord. Okay, now here Deborah was a judge, and let's go to like verse 6. It says that and she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali. That was a tribe, or you know, one of the cities, really. And said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun? Okay, so she's going to Barak and asking, and you're actually on camera there. Anyway, that's Dana. But anyway, he was supposed to had already gathered these men and went against Sisera, or however you pronounce that, Seceria, Sisera, or however. Anyway, Caesarea, yeah. All right, yeah. Thanks. Well, anyway, but he didn't do it. So some people have questioned whether or not. Well, go down to. Okay, let's read on. It says, "And I will draw unto thee to the river Kisron, Caesarea, the captain of Jabin's army." So the Lord's going to draw him to this battle, okay, and you know, he's going to bring his chariots and multitudes and deliver them into thine hand. So Barak's got this in the bag, you know, if he would go. God said, "Look, I'll draw him." And Deborah's saying, "Why haven't you gone? You know, go." Didn't the Lord say, "Go, take 10,000 men, go, and He's going to deliver them into your hand"? And Barak says this, and Barak said unto her, "If thou wilt go with me, then I'll go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I won't go." And she said, "I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey thou takest shall not be for thine honor, for the Lord shall send Sisera into the hand of a woman." And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. Okay. Now, basically he's saying, "I'm not going to go if you don't go." So I've heard a few people say the reason that Deborah was, because it says in Deuteronomy that if you can choose life or death, and choose life and you'll have this big long list of blessings. I think it's in Deuteronomy 28. And then if you choose death, you'll have these curses. And one of the curses was that if if you choose the wrong way and you do evil in the sight of the Lord, that women and children would rule over you. So some people were saying, well, how did Deborah become the leader? And it was because Barak wouldn't lead. So that news clip we just looked at just a second ago, and even the news people and generals that were, that know how armies work, they're saying, I don't know why he's not doing anything. It's strange. It's weird. So, is there a type and a shadow that where Barak is not doing the job that God's going to deliver this ISIS thing and these battles into the hand of Hillary? Now, one of the interesting things was I looked up some of the words just to see if there'd be some kind of meanings that I could get out of it, and it said, and she sent and called Barak. And Barak means lightning, okay, son of Abinoam, okay, Abinoam. I was just going through and looking up the Hebrew word and see what these words mean. Abinoam was, my father is delight or pleasantness. So it kind of makes me think about Barak and his father. Out of Kadesh, Kadesh means holy place. That starts to have a little flavor of when you see someone standing in a holy place, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm brainstorming about this. And Naphtali means wrestling, my strife. And I know that Islam and Muslim has meanings like that, like my struggle and things like that. So there seems to be some things here that kind of look like that. And when I looked up Deborah meant bee, and then it says Deborah was the wife of Lapidoth. Now Lapidoth means torches, so that's her husband, Lapidoth, okay, and it means torches. And when I was looking at the Hebrew meaning of that, it said learn more, and I clicked on that, and when I went to look at some of the roots and what have you of that word, there was a definition there, and I really don't understand exactly why that had this definition, but it was saying that someone who lived in the land without citizenship. And it made me think about Barack Obama's birth certificate issues, because nothing was known about Barack Obama, almost nothing, before 2008. He was a senator for a little bit, and then basically nothing. No one knew anything about him. And then he does produce a birth certificate later, and it's Barack Hussein Obama on the birth certificate. But I thought his name was Barry Sitar, or maybe when his mother remarried, he went by Barry Sitar and then switched back to his birth name. I don't know. But, anyway, I thought that was an odd coincidence that I would find that in the definitions of these things. And the tribes that Barak is supposed to go gather his help from, basically, is Naphtali means wrestling and my strife, and then the other tribe, Zebulun, was exalted. Now, I don't know if you kind of put meanings throughout the whole thing. I just thought it was some odd kind of things to find in there, in Barak's own name being lightning, and just end time stuff, man. Your mind goes a little crazy for it. But is there a type and a shadow for someone not leading, and then God delivering this, basically, because this country's starting to do evil in the sight of the Lord? He's going to deliver the country over into the hand of a woman to rule over us, and maybe even deal with I don't think ISIS wants a woman on them. You can believe that. You ain't seen no fury till you seen a mad woman coming after you. Maybe she'll get the job done, and that's what God's going to let happen, because he reigns on the just and the unjust. Tell me what you think. Go read Judges 4. Starting there at chapter 6 is where she goes to him and asks about it. So subscribe, comment, like, share the videos, and I'll see you on the next video. Be blessed.